What's up, fam? It's your local fitness go-to girl, Fee King of the Fee King Show. The Fee King Show goes down every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, God willing, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 12 noon. And I'm looking to make sure that we are live on Facebook before I bring in my guest. And I'm going to ask my producer off stage if he could check Facebook for me. And we are live today on LinkedIn. We are live this morning on YouTube. We are also live on Facebook. It says we're live on the gram, but I don't think so. So Sekou Wrights is checking for me because I see the circle, but I don't see that we are live on Facebook. And he's going to let me know as soon as he can. So today's show is unique and interesting because typically on the Fee King Show, I would say 99% of the people that I get to interview, I know either personally or we're connected somehow, like we've met either virtually, or we've had some sort of interaction. Thank you so much, babe. This young lady I've not met personally. I get to meet her virtually today. However, we have lots of people in common. She is an author. She's a keynote speaker. She's also a coach. I keep saying that she's a business coach, and she's going to either correct me or elaborate about that. And so I want to get her bio up here really quickly because I'm so excited about this book. She's the second person that I personally encountered who's written a collaborative book. As you know, my Sekou Wrights has written a book also with a group of people, and that inspires me and excites me. And so here's a little more about Miss Kibi Anderson. And I tell you, when you're looking for something, it's going to surface right now. All right. So the beautiful Kibi Anderson, again, she's an author, coach, keynote speaker, and Emmy, because I did not want to miss this, Emmy, let me say that again, Emmy award-winning content producer. She's a graduate of Harvard College and NYU Stern Business School. Kibi, we have something in common as it relates to Stern Business School, and she is the founder of Life Editor, a firm that provides communications and leadership coaching to C-suite and senior leaders. Without further ado, coming to the Fee King Show is Kibi Anderson.
What's up, Miss Fee? It is so good to be here. Good morning, everybody. And I have to, give a little bit of grace to Fee because I went live on my page at the same time, and I don't think she realized it. So I saw her navigating. So thank you, lovely. I realized, oh, wait, I want to go live to my audience too, so I can have this beautiful experience shared across. So it is such a pleasure to be here, y'all. Happy Wednesday.
Yes, happy Wednesday. And Kibi is tuning in from, I think you're on the West Coast?
Yes, I'm on the West Coast, California.
Okay. And so that means she's 3 hours ahead of us. So thank you again for that. I want to jump right into this, Kibi, because I'm so excited about this book. I started reading, and I tell you, it's one of those books where I love to read a book and highlight, take notes. However, I wanted to get the book ASAP. I wanted to support you and the other writers, and you made an amazing offer. It was like $1, and I was like, what? Done. What? Done. And so I said, okay, there will be no highlighting because it's on Kindle. However, when I say loving this, and I love the concept, so I want to get into the concept after I just share a couple.
Yes. Well, and while Fee's looking out, there is a hard copy of the book. So just so you know, I have a photo of it here. I didn't know if Fee was going to be able to show it, given she did download the digital one, but this is the book. So as we're talking about it, y'all know exactly what the physical is, and you can get it on Amazon today, and we'll share how.
Yes, you can do all the things today. All right, so let me start here, which is Point Taken. That is the name of her book. Point Taken is a compelling and entertaining book about ordinary business women. Ordinary business women, overcoming the odds in extraordinary circumstances. They share their experiences with unique points of views, and provide useful wisdom that will stay with you long after you turn the last page. That is by Gary Hardwick, award-winning writer, director, author. Nothing better than getting a raving review from a fellow writer, right? So let's
Girl,
start there.
yes.
Who is Kibi? Who is Kibi?
Who is Kibi? Oh my goodness. Well, I would say Kibi is a multitude of things. Right now, I am living in my rested rebel season, which I declare with, gumption, boldness. It is my kind of clarion call, my mantra, my motto. And that is because Kibi has, traversed a very life and kind of dynamic. I will argue a lot of, unfortunately, my challenges have been self-imposed because of my inability to release some programming that had taught me through most of my early life that the only way to achieve my goals was to work harder. And one of the things that I talk about in the book was a rapid transformation that absolutely unlocked a next level of success in my life, was realizing that that's completely a lie. And the only way to get the things that I want has never been due to working harder. It's been because I've rested more. And so my mantra now is really around, how do I embrace the power of the pause as much as possible? And then how do I hopefully get more and more people who I know are going through a lot of the same things that I am when it comes to feelings of burnout, overwhelm, stress, anxiety, all the things, to adopt the same mantra. So that is what I would say, is kind of most leading my identity right now. And in addition to that, as you said, I am a coach, I am a content creator, I'm a storyteller, I'm now a best-selling author, and I'm so proud to be able to say that. And most importantly, I'm just a human being, trying to navigate life, and every day having to continually remind myself that the best way to do that is to surrender to the process, to trust the process as opposed to try to control it.
Kibi, I would say I would like to add to that, because you are living life, that you are doing it. You are not trying. You are absolutely doing it. I will go back because sometimes there's some audio stuff. Sometimes, StreamYard is so popular. I'm gonna believe that StreamYard is so popular, and there's so many people on it at the same time, that there tends to be an overlap. And some things you said were so beautiful and so relevant and important. I don't want to miss it, because it spoke to me the first time I read it, and you just said it, which was something in the pause, Pause. Can you repeat that and go a little deeper about
kind of what I mean? Yeah. Well, I was sharing that, my rested rebel name is really around a consistent reminder that my identity is such that the power is in the pause. Power is in the pause. And so the more you can embrace that as truth and move with the faith that that is the only way to achieve success, the more leveled up your success will be, first of all, and then B, the amount of stress that you have to navigate and carry, within your body, the tension that I think comes with this need to try to control everything dissipates. And my chapter in my book is called The Saga of a Rested Rebel. And I say that because it was a saga, to your listeners. Like I said, did a lot of things that were self-imposed when it came to my suffering, a lot of self-induced pain, a lot of prolonged agony that didn't have to be that way. And it was due to my lack of understanding of this, me believing a different programming that, while it served me to a certain degree, when it came to really getting to a level of destiny and vision, claiming that I knew was in my purpose. This was those, you have those moments in the quiet of the night where you're listening to God, whoever, that voice is, and you're like telling yourself, Kibi, that there's more, but there's something in this moment that is holding you back. And for me, it began to reveal that it was my inability to surrender, and I talk about this in the book. Rest, AKA pause, is an act of trust. And so what I am learning, even this morning, I do a live every morning too, and I had one just before this, and I was talking about this idea of how do you learn to surrender? even now, this is a ongoing saga, and I'm overwhelmed, trying to manage a lot that is due to unexpected developments in my life. And this morning I had to talk myself off the ledge and remind myself, Kibi, no, the power is in the pause, the power is in the pause. So that's a mantra that I say as a
Yeah.
rested rebel. And I encourage all my people to just, whenever you start having that feeling, the tension in your body, the power is in your pause, the power is in your pause, surrender, dear one, surrender. So that is a meditation and a mantra that I use every day, and I say I wrote this book for me, y'all. I'm just sharing it with the world because I hear a lot of other people are struggling.
I love that you say that. You said that because oftentimes as writers, we write the stories for ourselves, whether it's a TV show. I'm watching. I like to say I'm participating in Issa Rae's masterclass on masterclass.com, and that's what she says. You write the stories whether they are about you. Most times they are still indirectly about you or about your friends, your family members, because these are the stories that these are you better than anyone else. And I would like to do the power of the pause mantra with you because that speaks to me, and so I know it speaks to other people because I attract people who are like me, and I'm attracted to people. People are attracted to me because I am like them, and so can we do that together?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Would you like me to lead or would you like to
Of
try it
course,
yourself? Maybe you
I
lead
would
and I
like
will
you
follow.
to.
Yes. There's power in my pause.
There's power in
There
my
is power
pause.
in my pause.
There's power in my pause.
There is power in my pause.
There is power in my pause. Hmm. Thank you, Kibi.
I love that.
That was amazing because it goes back to trust, and we have been conditioned, we have been programmed to, and we've made songs from it, we've made mantras. There are cheers, hustle harder. I'm out here hustling and grinding. I remember when the word grinding just completely turned me off. And I said, when you think about the process of grinding coffee beans, there's nothing pleasant. There's nothing soft. It feels and sounds very uh, violent to me. I said, and that is not how I want to live my life. I don't want to hustle. I personally replaced the word hustling with praying and play, praying and placing it in God's hands. Because if I'm hustling, that means I feel like I need to hold on to the wheel. I need to steer it. I'm in control of it. And it is no I. It is really, like you said, trusting and surrendering and really trusting the process and realizing that it is just that it is a process. It does not happen overnight. And then also, once you get there, You're still not there because you still get to do the work. Like you said, I talked myself off of the ledge this morning. So just when
Yep.
you think you
Yeah.
arrived, there's still somewhere else for you to go.
There's
There's
still absolutely. And that's really, I mean, to a couple key things. I mean, I love the analogy that you used around grind culture, hustle culture, because to your point, I released that as well. And it's funny, my mantra this year has been be the turtle, because I've been the hare my whole life. So it's been be the turtle, Kibi, be the turtle. And you're highlighting the idea of grind culture. To grind something is to take something whole and to break it into pieces. Which, if you think about our beings, we're saying we want to take a fully whole, actualized person who has complete and total understanding of their power in the divine connection, for me, between God, the source, and myself, my heart, and actually dissipate that. So you are literally scattered in a much more weakened state. I mean, so that is literally what it means to grind something down. So to your point, it is about rejecting that. It is about acknowledging that it's only when you are able to fully access your whole personhood, to acknowledge that you aren't just one dimensional. You have a 360 nature to you, which it's a circle for a reason. It's complete. It's intended to be connected. And that is the only way you can surrender. You can float. Like, you can actually, like, the more wholeness, the more buoyant yourself is when you're able to actually let the waves and the ocean, the waves of life, the ocean of life, which is definitely going to have its waves, ups and downs. But until you're able to actually surrender to it and flow, you will die. Like, if you think about it, just physics, and I said this morning on my own live, the idea of survival when you're in a undercurrent, if you get caught up into something where the waves are pulling you out, the last thing you want to do is to start fighting, because you will die, because you will run out of energy. Like, you will exhaust yourself. So it's counterintuitive, but it's let the oceans take you out. And it could be 200-300 feet from the shore, and yet it is a much more higher likelihood that you will be able to swim back with full energy, even if you're 200 feet from the shore, than trying to fight when you're 5 feet. Like, it's just counterintuitive. And so that is the constant reprogramming. And you just take that from the ocean to life. It is not about going faster. And I tell this to myself, and you asked at the top, like, do I coach business people? Yes. Like, my target is for, busy executives who are ambitious, executives who actually enjoy work, who want to be wealthy. Like, I am a capitalist through and through. I am not somebody who's like, F the system. Like, I understand the system. I don't think there are elements of the system that are great. And yet I understand that this is a pathway, if you understand what to do, to create generational wealth. So for me, a lot of what I write in the book was intended to help me figure out, how do I maintain success? Because I don't want to go live on the bush. I don't want to go, like, extract myself from society. Like, I know I want to be a part of this so that I can build my own legacy. And yet I know I need to be able to fight this consistent programming that the society that I work in, at least in America, Western civilization, industrial thinking has. And so the techniques that I talk about in the book are intended to help people who are trying to navigate that in a way that actually gets results, first of all, because there's so many people out there writing about resting and self-care and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, it didn't work for me. And so that is where my desire to write this book came from, and a lot of the things that I talk about in the book are somewhat controversial. I say things like balance is not the goal. I say things like self-care is the freaking lie. We've been bamboozled with all of these things that, in my opinion, are really about trying to sell you more stuff, as opposed to give you a real specific framework that is applicable in any situation. And, and I'm not saying that it's not great to go on a meditation retreat. I do those things. All I'm saying is, in my experience, that is not always the thing that gives me rest. And so I had to redefine a lot of this stuff for myself so that it would work.
I love that so much. I want to unpack, because there are a lot of coaches, right? There are a lot of people who do, I don't want to say this work, but they do the work. There are a lot of self-trained coaches. And I believe, depending upon how you lived your life, you could be very well equipped to be a coach and to help people navigate. You said that you work with businesses. So how is that different from a coach that we see online who is offering a program, and maybe they paid for an ad on Facebook, and the ads are always, their programs are always $9.97. That's a whole other conversation. Like, I said, why is that number? Like,
Yes, yeah.
I'm a
We in
little
a season where everybody has decided that they have something to share. And listen, no foul, no shade. I am a fan of coaches. I helped co-found a organization called the BIPOC Coach Collective, which is intended to help more coaches of color build their businesses and have sustainable things. So for me, it has nothing to do with a sense of lack. There's so much work out there. To your point, there are a lot of people who just are not doing the work, to be a effective coach, who haven't really done the refining that it takes to be successful. So let me understand your question. So what I'm hearing is kind of what makes me different as a coach, and what it is that I do kind of within my space would be a helpful clarifying thing to share. I just want to make sure I'm answering your question.
Yes, thank you. Yes, and how do you work with people in the corporate world versus a lot of the coaches that I come across, they are wanting to work with individuals.
That makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I will tell you, I mean, most coaches, if you are building a sustainable business over time, are probably going to have different products for different groups. So I do work with individuals and I do work with corporate clients. So I do want to make that clear. My target client is a C-suite leader, kind of SVP, like somebody who is fairly established in their career. Founders. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, founders of startups who are going through seasons of change. So they're typically in a scaling season. So maybe they're a founder, they've just gotten, some funding, they're Series A, Series B, and they are in the process of scaling and growing. And then on the flip side, CEOs who are managing teams of at least kind of 10 or more, who are, like you said, maybe they're a new CEO, maybe they have, seen their revenue grow and they're now having to expand and they're struggling because the things and the ways that they may have led in the early season are just not serving them in this new season because there's new problems. And typically, they're struggling with communication. So I do a group coaching offering for individuals that is called Communicate Like a Pro. Where I really help senior leaders learn how to say tough things with a soft touch. How do you have that tough conversation and walk away and still be liked? One of the biggest things is, I got to fire somebody and yet they're my cousin. So how do I make sure that they're not, we keep that relationship? That is a skill that can be taught. And I believe that effective communication and the ability to what I could describe like master communication when it comes to saying hard things is the single determinant of if you're going to have ultimate success. All the data shows it. Many leaders who have been working for many, many years, actually, when you get to the nitty gritty of it, when they're in a season of change, do not know how to effectively communicate with people. And that's why they struggle. And it's communicate with themselves, communicate with their team, and communicate with their stakeholders. And stakeholders could be their customers, their board, their funders, whatever that is. So that's the first thing. And I do those group coaching, and that's one-on-one. Like, so people will come and hire me. I also do one-on-one coaching with senior leaders. And then on the corporate side, I do a lot of keynote speaking. I do workshops where I will facilitate similar topics in group dynamics typically. Or I will be engaged by a corporate client who will pay me to coach an internal person, if that makes sense. When I say corporate, typically I'm working with people who are in the business world, but it can be on a corporation is hiring me or an individual person is hiring me.
Okay. I'm glad I asked.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I have a lot more clarity, and I'm sure people who are watching, especially people. So let me ask you this then, because I have a feeling someone's going to ask this based on what I posted, because I said that you were a business coach. So I was correct about that. And I said, she's going to be speaking to entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, startups, business owners, et cetera, et cetera. So what if someone is just starting out, like they've just taken the leap of faith to say, you know what, I'm going to continue to work my job so that I don't add added stress. One of the people that I totally admire, and she's my new mentor. She doesn't know it yet, but she will. Her name is Arlen Hamilton. I'm sure. Are you familiar with Arlen? She says, and a lot of other thought leaders and coaches echo the same sentiment. Not that she's a coach, but she's a VC, as you know. They echo the same sentiment, which is it's totally fine to work your job until you're ready to be full-time in your business. So what would you say to those people who are that? They have a full-time job and they have a business plan, they have a vision, and they want to be in business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you work with people at that stage, or do you even recommend a coach at that stage?
Yes, I work with a coach at any stage you are in the process of trying something new. So whenever you're going through a season of change, coaching, I mean, and this is not even a self-serving thing because I have paid a lot of money for coaches and I have seen the measurable results. Like I have seen my income, 3x, 4x, 5x. Like I have seen me get into certain rooms that I would have never thought I would get into that have materially changed my life. So full stop, coaching. There is a season where you need a coach. There is a season where you need a therapist. There is a season where you need a consultant. They are not all the same. And there are seasons where you might need all three or a combination of those. But it's important to really understand, the difference. And I'll just say that real quick. A coach is somebody who's focused on the future, right? You are at a point where you've resolved you want to do something and you want some support, some accountability, some insight, tools on how to move it forward. The therapy deals with the past. There are many people who come to me, and if they're not ready for coaching, it's because there is still some unresolved trauma in their past that is keeping them stuck. They're not open to the possibility that there is a new way and a new paradigm. And so you find as a coach, I can't do anything with you because you have not resolved something you're still grieving. So I would encourage you to go to therapy. Then there is a consultant where they're coming in here to give you business advice. A coach, my philosophy is you have everything you need inside of you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to help you discover what it is you need to do, but there's something holding you back. Now, can I give you, as a business expert, tools and insights and frameworks you can use so that when you confront these challenges again, you will be able to move forward without me? A coach is intended to not be needed. A consultant you need, because the only way you're going to get this information is if you talk to me, because I just know it. I've been doing this for 20 years. You're paying me for my insight. So just so people can understand, that's a really good framework, hopefully. So when you are at a point of inflection, you're trying to figure out, what do I need? Consider, are you still struggling? Like, are you stuck because you are like telling yourself, oh God, I hate this happened, or you're thinking about the past? Are you like, no, I want to go forward, but I don't know what to do? But I know inherently I can figure this out, or do I just need some help? Like, do I have no idea how to understand how to read a financial statement, and I'm going to hire somebody to help me think through that. Those are the ways to approach it. So hopefully that gives some insight into that part of it.
It does, because I think some people, including myself, there has been a time when I felt like I should know. And now I no longer live in the land of should, because you don't know that you don't know that you don't know. You just don't know. You don't even know. Kibi, we have run out of time. I want to share a couple of things. Yesterday,
goes by fast.
So fast when you're having fun and when it's engaging, and I'm learning and you get to share. And I'm so happy to meet you this way. We have a couple friends in common. Let's shout out to Titonia Jones of the Radical Breath.
Absolutely, Tonya. I'm gonna see you next Friday.
Let's shout out Ife Thomas, her glow.
Her glow. I know.
Your best. And so Fatima West has said, hello, ladies, firstly. Hey, Fatima. And she says, you have to be ready to be coached. And then therapy is so necessary for most people to better help understand self. And isn't it a great thing that all these things exist to help us to get our fullest actualization? Yes. What a blessing that we now have coaches. What a blessing it is that we're now open to therapy, and more of us aren't attached to this negative stigma of the past that therapy means something's wrong with you. No, it does not mean that. It means that there's something that you want to heal, get better understanding of it. I am here for therapy, coaching, and one day soon, consulting. Kibi, I want you to come on her story because it's a group for writers. And so as a writer, that's not just one, that's not, you do more than just write. I'm sure we have directors, authors, business women in the group. So I want to have you come into the group and we'll do a live conversation and share. I think we'll have Fatima come on also. We'll bring Fatima on because Fatima's a writer who has some incredible stories, and I think she needs some support around framing and getting started, and as well as me. I'm going to be launching my book next month. Next month, oh my goodness, July. Is this June? Woo. All right. Kibi, how can people work with you? How can people connect with you? How can people learn more about you?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you see my handle. Anybody's watching, please. The best way is to hit me up on Instagram at Kibi Anderson, and that's KIBIANDERSON. I'm everywhere, Kibi Anderson. So LinkedIn, the Gram, Facebook. I'm actually still on there too. And otherwise, go to buy my book. And I dropped the link. I don't know if you're able to put that in there, Fee, because I'm not able to post it on here, but you can get my book today on Amazon. As I shared, it's called Point Taken: Brilliant Business Advice from Women at the Top. And I know we're running out of time, but I do just want to shout this out. This is an excellent book. I want to shout out all of my fellow authors. There are 11 of us. I'm one of 10 women who are sharing our stories that we've learned. We have done the failing for y'all. So please let us allow our insights to help you to navigate. And as Fee said, when you're starting something new, this is where you start. I mean, so then you were going to ask me, what would I tell somebody who's kind of starting out new, who's in this season of trying to change? Talk to people who've done it before. Talk to people, because our ego gets us caught up into thinking that you said we should know this. And the truth is, as a coach, you shouldn't. I tell all my clients that, who told you that something you've never done before, you have no experience before, you should know how to do? And it is that programming. So talk to people. So again, read this book. There are stories in here, not only around how you navigate rest, but how you put more margin in your life. How do you realize you need to get financial, like kind of how you can be destroying your life because you don't have understanding of your numbers, financial traumas that we create because we will not get help. And if you're a business owner, I cannot tell you, the most important thing you have to do is know your numbers to manage cash flow. That is the biggest challenge that many new entrepreneurs start out with. Even if you have a full-time job, how do you manage your cash flow to make sure that you can eventually transition and do this full-time and know when it makes sense to bring on help? That is the biggest reason why so many people fail. And oftentimes it has to do with how you're communicating with yourself. So I'm saying it all starts with communication. What is the internal conversation you're having with yourself? Are you telling yourself that I got to work harder? Or are you telling yourself, you know what, it's okay for me to pause because I know that I've done the work to have somebody speak my name in a room that is going to unlock that contract. And that is literally what happened to me. I mean, I unwillingly had to pause. And in that pause, people spoke my name in rooms that eventually completely transformed my financial outlook. And I was able to leave what was an old, full-time job. $250,000 contract had nothing to do with anything I did.
Oof. Kibi, you have
the moment. So that is the inspiration. Yeah.
You have spoken possibility. You have dropped so many gems and jewels. Thank you so much. I cannot wait for us to schedule you in Her Story Unstuck. I will reach out to you later on today. I'm excited. Thank you so much. And I will send you this and I will cut it up. It usually takes me 24 to 48 hours to do that, just little snippets. It takes me far less, but I don't want to overcommit and underdeliver. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Have an amazing, yummy, delicious, positive, productive, possible day. Continue to do that, and I will see you on the other side, all right? Stay in the room for me, okay? Put you in the green room.
Take care, everybody. Bye. Yes.
Thank you. All right, that was Kibi Anderson. You can check her out on all social media platforms. Kibi, K-I, B as in boy, I, Anderson, regular spelling. This has been the Feed King Show. I thank you for your time. I thank you for sharing. If you found any value in the Feed King Show, go ahead and share that thing. If you would like to sponsor the Feed King Show and or There Are Black People in Omaha branch of the Feed King Show, this is the show where your business gets spotlighted. Don't sleep on those opportunities. Also, if you would like to be a guest on either arm of the Feed King Show, reach out to me at FEEKING or Fees Fitness Over 40. I think I have time for one really quick announcement because we are over time, but Time outside of myself does not exist. So I am the owner of my time, which means I'm going to go ahead and share this happening Monday, June 17th. Let me come back over here. June 17th, my second 7-day fitness challenge of the summer. Second 7-day fitness challenge of the summer. Tomorrow, listen, that will say cool in the background snapping. Listen, you do not want to sleep on this for 10 hours. 10 hours only. 10 hours exclusively. I'm dropping the price to $7.99 for a 7-day fitness challenge. Yep, let me say that again. You heard it right, Fatima West. $7.99. Abs, ass lift, no more fupa. Ladies, it is summertime. Ladies, when it's fall time. Ladies, when it's spring. Ladies, when it's winter. We will get there and we will maintain it. And yes, you too can see your abs again after 40. I will see you on the other side of health and wellness. This is the Fee King Show. I bid you love, light, peace, prosperity, possibility, positivity, not just for today or the rest of this week or the weekend or even the rest of the year, but for your entire life condition. We're out.